Real estate marketing is finicky. If you do it right, you can print money, but influencers aren't telling you the whole truth. My name's Ryan, and I've been at this whole direct-to-seller thing for 10 years. There are 5 truths that no influencer who's trying to get your dollars is going to tell you about. The first one is the awkwardness between your first and second month of marketing. Everybody in real estate knows that you have to be consistent when it comes to marketing, but that's easier said than done. 99% of investors end up on the hamster wheel model, where they do some marketing, they pause and wait to get some results, they get some results, and then when they turn around ready for their next deal, they have nothing in the pipeline. So every quarter, they're relaunching their business. The awkwardness really comes from paying for month 2 marketing while you're still waiting for calls or results from month 1. For instance, if we're using direct mail, if I drop mail on the 1st of January, it's in system for a week or 2 before it's in circulation and we're starting to get calls. But that means my marketing's really only been out for a week or 2 when it's time for me to reorder. That means that there are going to be people that call in and ask to be taken off the list who I need to send a second piece and they've not even called in yet. Or return to senders that are inevitably going to bounce back that if I'm remailing are going to get a second piece from me. While it can be awkward, it's super important. A lot of folks that own mail houses will tell you like, oh, you have to commit to 6 months in a row like clockwork before you see any results. I'll be the first to tell you that I'm not that patient. If I had to do something for 5 or 6 months before I started to see tangible results, I'm going to get bored. I'm going to go do something different. But it realistically is like 2 to 3 months of consistency before we can even make the call on if something's working or not. The second thing that sucks in the microwave generation of real estate investors is we want our results and we want them now. I paid for my marketing yesterday. Why don't I have a deal yet today? I think that's part of why we saw the rise and fall of SMS marketing. We realized we could pull a list, rip phone numbers for it, hit go on a software, and start 10,000 conversations instantly. It was super gratifying, although as we preached and warned about, also illegal without consent. The reality is that it's going to take 60 to 90 days before you really start to see or feel any traction, particularly if you're brand new to that market in the direct-to-seller space. Nobody's ever heard of you. You exist online. Do you have reviews that they can check? All of that stuff matters. We're seeing a ton of old leads convert right now. I'm talking sellers that had been in system for 3 or 4 years at this point. So right now, my average time in system to a deal converting is right at 8 months. Now, if I looked at the median, right, cut out the low end and the super fast ones, that figure's going to be less than 8 months, but 8 months is the reality of what we're seeing on average right now. I have investors reach out to me all the time and they're like, hey, I've done X for 2 months and I don't have any results yet. What should I do differently? And it could be that you need to hang in there or that you simply don't have enough of a sample size. But if I've only been doing something for a month or 2, chances are I'm not yet seeing the fruit of that activity. The third truth that nobody wants to tell you about is you're going to be the awkward, clunky person through at least your first several direct-to-seller deals. If you've typically bought properties on market or through an agent or from referrals, it kind of like comes to you on a silver platter of what do you want to pay? Okay, I'll draw it up. I'll line up closing. I'll get it all the way there. When you go direct, that's all on you. You have to handle the contracts. You have to open escrow. You have to coordinate inspections. You have to help the title company get the documents they need from your seller for things like payoffs. You're going to make mistakes. There are going to be questions you don't know the answer to, and you are going to be awkward. You're going to make an offer call, and they're going to very quickly rush off the phone, hang up on you. You're going to be sitting there wondering, like, what did I do wrong? You have to be willing to sit in that discomfort of being bad at this for a little bit before you can expect to be a superstar. This reason is kind of the whole purpose of my YouTube channel. I didn't have somewhere to go with my dumb questions. I am here to answer your dumb questions. Just drop them in the comments. This third truth is the whole reason that my YouTube channel exists. I wanted somewhere with for dummies level, simple, actionable content for mom and pop investors looking to find their own or better deals. If you have questions on anything I put out ever, just drop a comment. I will personally answer you. The fourth truth is that you have to be the squeaky wheel with your vendors. What a lot of investors do, and this is my pet peeve being a service provider in this space as well, is they'll hire a vendor, they won't communicate at all, they'll cancel with no communication at all, and they'll never ask for help of any kind. That is a recipe for disaster. If you don't communicate what your expectations are and how you determine success or failure, your vendor doesn't stand a snowball's chance in hell of making you happy. One of the things I learned early on in marriage counseling is any uncommunicated expectations is a preset resentment. If I'm expecting you to do something, but I don't share that expectation, literally setting you up for failure. When it comes to your vendors, you need to be asking good questions, such as, what should I expect my cost per lead or cost per acquisition to be? What are previous examples of campaigns that have worked or not worked? What are the best lists you're seeing success with? Have you worked with anybody in my market or in a market like it, and what seemed to work for them? When it comes to your clients who succeed or fail, what seems to be the difference? If I run into challenges, what sort of support is offered or available to me? None of us would ever go to the doctor and just say, something's wrong, fix it, and give no communication to the symptoms. Similarly, if we're in pain after the fact, we're calling being like, yo, is this normal? I've seen different investors go to the same service provider or vendor and get wildly different results. Now, part of that is obviously going to be market differences, but a bigger part of it, I think, really is this piece. What were their expectations going into it? What were their budget? What were their exit strategies? How much support did they ask for? How quick did they throw in the towel? I see Carrot ads all the time, probably because I'm on Carrot all the time, because that's what my websites are built on. And I'll see people comment on it like, oh, my site didn't work. I was on there for years and didn't get anything. Well, how did you push traffic to it? My Carrot sites have generated thousands of leads, have made me more money than I can literally track. So whenever I see people complain about a vendor, my default is always like, okay, but how did you show up? Setting up a website and driving traffic to it does nothing for you. Dropping a direct mail campaign and then not answering or working any of the calls that come in is going to do nothing for you. Hiring a pay-per-click vendor and giving them a budget of $4, you're not going to get any results. The fifth truth really sucks, and that's that flops do happen. You will try something in marketing that does not work. You'll try a vendor, you'll try a marketing channel, you might even spend tens of thousands of dollars and not have anything to show for it. Back in 2024, we went hot and heavy into CTV, like connected TV ads. $36,000 spent across multiple markets, no deals to show for it. A, I should have pulled the plug way sooner, but B, I've decided for me, connected TV doesn't work. A more personal example was 2 ballpoint marketing campaigns that I did for some of my Sold Fast locations. I dropped about the same dollars in 2 separate markets. Don't hold my feet to the fire, but it was around like 25 grand per location. It was the same piece, it was the same list, it was the same strategy deployed in 2 separate markets with 2 very different realities. In one market, I only got like 25 or 26 calls. Now, we pulled some listings, there were some deals that came out of it. All in all, not upset about it. The other market, though, we got over 65 appointments, not just calls, appointments out of that same budget. Now, if I hadn't done both markets and didn't have the experience I have in this space, if I was in the market that got 25 calls, I'm thinking like, wow, this kind of sucked. If I'm in the other market, I'm like, I am God's gift to real estate. The reality is what works in one market might not work in another. One of the third markets I'm in is Boston, and the stuff that tends to work in other markets doesn't tend to work there. But what does work there is long-term seniors or focusing on the condos. So to recap, first, you're going to have this clunky experience about month 2 of I'm spending more money and I don't really have anything to show for it. The second thing you're going to run into is that 60 to 90 day minimum timeline for cash to go back out, for you to have opportunities to come back in. The third thing is going to be that awkwardness of you being new at this. The first time I went to the gym and picked up a barbell, I was like, this is awkward and clunky. Now it feels comfortable. The fourth thing is that you're going to need to be extremely direct and vulnerable in your communication with your vendors. Here's what I'm hoping for. Here's what my expectations are. Is that realistic? If it is realistic and it's not happening, what do we do from there? And the fifth thing, probably the suckiest thing. You will spend dollars on marketing campaigns that will not generate results or the kind of results that you're hoping for. I have done hundreds of direct-to-seller transactions. The men and women I work with in CCF, which is what's on the wall behind me here, have reported back to us over $91 million in equity in new holds in net from title on direct-to-seller deals. I am sold on going direct-to-seller. It has been my best deals. Some of my worst deals have been the deals that I didn't source myself. But pretending we can go through this with just rose-colored glasses of we're going to print dollars and not have any speed bumps in the road not only is naive, but it's a terrible precedent to set you off on. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. My name is Ryan Dossey. I'll talk to you guys next time.